Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review for Juuni Taisen episode 3. This one was good, another good episode. We started out with 9 survivors left and we dropped one. And it was kind of the obvious one. When I made my rankings at the end of last week's review, I kind of predicted that this one would be the next one to go. Though it seemed kind of obvious from the promos we got, but let's go ahead and discuss this part by part, go through it. So there are 9 left at the beginning. The OST in the opening scene was really incredible. I thought that just one opening scene was really, really damn good. Rooster killed her parents, from what I gather, killed her parents in order to escape a bunch of abuse. And we cut from that over back to the present day after the opening, which is great, by the way. It has grown on me a lot, actually. I said it would probably grow on me, because at first I liked it, but I didn't think it was the best. Now it's grown on me a lot. But back in the present time, she grabs the crystal from Dog, making her now one of 3 people that have 2 crystals, along with Dragon and Rabbit. Dragon and Rabbit would each have 2. So it's important to know where the crystals go, because you can't win unless you have all of them, even if you're the last man standing. But she totally played Dog, because she wanted to use him to get his powers. I also love one line that was great where she was like, after I win this, I'll have them build a statue of you. And then she stopped and she's like, oh, what do you look like? Oh well, looks don't make the man. I loved that line where she was like, they'll make a statue of you. And then she thought to herself, crap, what did he look like? So we cut back to another flashback. Rooster has severe amnesia. The Niwa family takes her in, pretty much just using her for her power, because her power is really freaking good. She becomes a spy with no past or ambitions. The perfect kind of spy to be used by people like the Niwa family. We have this whole flashback storyline where she's like a freaking quadruple agent, just betraying people left and right. And the basic crux of her character that came out of that she said was, all people are born of circumstance. She said that good people can turn evil, evil people can reform their ways, friends can betray you, enemies can become your friends. Basically, her entire character was built around, people aren't this solid, consistent thing. They're all inconsistent. They're all bound by the circumstances they're in. And that was the way she viewed the world, and the entire story was built up to tell us that about her. And it's sad that a lot of people were like, oh, well, the character died that gets the backstory. That's kind of predictable. Yeah, but that happens in, every show ever. If a character gets a backstory, then you should be worried about their future. That's kind of sad, but it's your typical way to do things so that you care about the character before they die. And with only 12 episodes in most anime, I guess anime is very guilty of this. But it is what it is. She attacks Boar. I thought at first, I was like, okay, attacking the zombie seems really pointlessly dangerous, because the whole point that Dog was using her for was to attack the zombie so that Rabbit would be drawn out and he could sneak attack Rabbit. Well, what would have happened if she attacked that zombie and then Rabbit came out? She would have probably been pretty screwed. I mean, maybe not, because she was super strong and powered up, but still, it just seemed like taking a chance for no good reason to take a chance. But she feeds Boar's body to the crows, so zombie Boar should be out of the picture now. We learned that people who are turned into zombies, though, this was to teach us something as viewers. It taught us that people turned into zombies by Rabbit can still use their powers. So that's, of course, going to come into play in the future, since we were told about it here. But she fed them to the crows, and she says that she was using that fight to test her power up and how much it affected her. Still, I don't know. It seems like it works for the plot, but for putting yourself in the character's shoes, that's kind of an unnecessary risk. We see Horse versus Ox for a little bit. Not really liking Ox. I think he has his reasons, but I don't really like him. He's probably one of my least favorite characters right now. Rat finds Rooster, both looking for food. And I love that when he brings her back to meet Monkey and everything, she's thinking to herself, I feel like I've met him somewhere before, when we were seeing things sort of from Monkey's point of view and hearing her inner monologue and stuff last episode, she thought the same thing. And when we saw things from Boar's point of view and heard her inner monologue, she said the same thing. And it's got to be important that everybody is thinking, I think I know him from somewhere. That's got to be something that's going to play into some sort of big reveal and tie all the story together. Maybe it has something to do with his power. Maybe he can make people forget about him. Maybe he has met all of them before. But I think it's definitely got to be something important, or else it wouldn't have happened with each of the characters that we saw from their perspective, except, of course, for Dog, because Dog never really got to meet Rat yet. Or did Dog have a flashback where he said that about him when he was recalling the different characters? He may have, so it may have been each of them. I don't totally remember, though. Also, if anybody's getting annoyed that I refer to her as Rooster, I'm just referring to him by the... I know Rooster is a female or a male chicken and she's a female, but I'm just referring to the zodiac names of wherever they're... whatever animal they are. So yeah, moving along from there... Monkey, I'm assuming it has to be part of her power. She basically gets Rooster to spill every single thing she knows, and I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was great because I noticed it as it was going on. I was like, she's spilling everything she knows while thinking to herself, I'm totally going to fool her and everything. And later on, she blames it on the drug, heightening her awareness and making her like sort of hyperactive. But I think it was more than that. I think it is Monkey's power. That's what I would think. The same thing, Ox finds Rooster. Rooster can't control her actions. I really don't think it's that she was hyperactive. I think that Monkey might be able to make people tell the truth, or might be able to make people do her bidding or something. That's kind of an OP power, but it would kind of fit what's going on. And it would make it so that her whole plan from the beginning possibly was just to sort of form a team, make the team kill the stragglers, and then make the team collapse and kill each other until she was the last one left, if that is her power. Her power could only have to do with the whole truth thing, and the hyperactive could explain why she took a battle stance and tried to fight Ox. That could make sense, though, because, I mean, the drug does it is made to make somebody into a soldier. So, I mean, it kind of makes you think it would make her more apt for combat, more aggressive. So, I mean, that's possible too. So then Rooster obviously just gets taken down easily, and Ox takes her crystal, presuming that he'll probably take the dog crystal off of her too, and we didn't need to see it on screen to assume that. But, yeah, so I'm thinking. I don't think we need to see it on screen to assume that, but it could come into play later that he didn't know that she had killed Dog and didn't take the crystal. But I think that he'd be smart enough to search, you know. Either way, though, anything left? Nope, that was it. So time for some discussion. I thought it was really, really good. I'm worried about Monkey next week because the promo had her in it as something important, and because Ox is sort of going after her. As for Horse, we didn't see him die. I think Horse survived. Not sure how yet. He might be working with Ox now, but we didn't see that because it'll be a surprise later on. But either way, I think he survived. Maybe he escaped into the sewers, and he's going to come in for the save next episode to save Rat and Monkey. Rooster, I think, for me, was the first character I actually felt for dying. The rest just weren't really developed that much. She was the first character I really felt sympathy for her backstory, though, and her dying was kind of tragic to me. It's going to be more so for other characters later, I would assume, but she was just the first taste of that for me. I already talked about Monkey's power. One thing I would say that would have made this episode better, though, I wish we got to see more of the others like we did last episode, even if we just briefly checked into them, just saw one scene of Tiger, one scene of Goat. Something like that I think would have been helpful. But, oh well. So as a score, I would give it 8.75, Feast for Crows out of 10. I didn't want to quite give it a 9 like I gave the one episode, but I didn't want to give it an 8.5 either. I thought it was better than that, so that's sort of where I ended up at. Anything else? No, I guess that's about it. But before I end it, I will do like last week and give my rankings for ones I think that are most likely to least likely to survive here. So right now, the list pretty much hasn't changed much. The one at the bottom of the list was Rooster, and it still hasn't changed much. So number one still for me is Rat. I think Rat is most likely to survive. Ox as well, he could have some sort of backstory, and that could make him important and make him into more of a main character, other than being a main antagonist, which he's kind of in an antagonist-ish role right now. But I'm putting him at second. I moved him up above Horse because we don't know if Horse died off screen, though I'm assuming he didn't. Third, I'm moving Horse down from second place to third place because I still think he can play a good role in the story. He's a very neutral, good guy, and I think he has a decent chance to survive, though I could very much see him dying. I don't think he died off screen, but just that the chance is there is what made me move him down just a little bit. Fourth place, I would say Dragon. We still don't know what's going on with him, but like I said last week, I think there's probably some sort of something going on in the background with him and how his brother died first, and I think there's more to him than we know yet, so I'm putting Dragon there. Tiger would be fifth out of the 8. I could see her living, I could see her dying. She definitely has some sort of backstory with Ox is what I'm thinking, but the he she's looking for might be somebody else. I was just assuming it was Ox. I could be completely wrong, since it looked like she was looking to him in the first meeting. But yeah, I could see her living, I could see her dying. Tiger could kind of go either way. I could more see her dying, though. I guess that's why she's in 5th. Rabbit is in 6th, and I moved him up a spot. More I moved Monkey down a spot than I moved him up. I still definitely see him dying, because he's kind of an antagonist role, but I think there's maybe like a 20-25% chance he is an antagonist that turns good enough, not good, but like psychotic, so he's not like he's not smart evil, he's psychotic evil, so he just starts, he can be used to help the good guy survive and to escape the game or whatever, or to end the game, take out Duet a couple or whatever. So there's a 20-25% chance I'm thinking maybe he could survive. Monkey, because the next episode's about her, that's why I moved her down a spot. I still think there are 3 aspects to take into this. I would say there's the small chance that she does help them escape the game or defeat the game and survive. That's a small chance. 10-15% I'd give her to survive. 40% chance of dying next episode just because the promo and stuff was about her, and it seems we're going to be finding out some dark things about her. And what's left, like 50-45%, something like that, depending on whether you count the first as 10 or 15. So 45-50% I would say is that she is a good guy and she does help them try to escape the game, but because she's the good guy pushing for them to defeat the game instead of complete the game, she's going to end up dying for others to survive. I think a martyr's death, kind of. I think that's the most likely outcome, just barely beating out the very likely outcome of her just dying next episode. So that's what I'm thinking for Monkey. And then the one, Goat is a sure lock-in death. Goat might not be the next one to die, but Goat is a sure death. There is no way I see Goat surviving this. I don't, starting from the beginning, there were characters that we got introduced to all 12 of them the first episode, not deeply, but we got introduced and saw a little bit about each, and saw, Tiger was looking at this person was doing that, and they each had things where you're like, okay, there are stories and interconnections to be told with all of them there, and there were a couple that were throwaways. Dog didn't have that, Rooster didn't have that, and now, again, we don't have, and Boar was like the surprise death that developed the first person in the first episode and killed them off, but Dog didn't have that, Chicken didn't have that, and the third one that didn't have that was Goat. They were the 3 that didn't seem like they had any deep connection or that there was a lot of potential for future stories. They're the expendable characters, really. So, to me, Goat's an expendable character. I think he's definitely a lock to die. So yeah, running over them real quick again: rat, ox, horse, dragon, tiger, rabbit, monkey, then goat. So yeah, that was it. Like if you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of this episode, what you thought of my thoughts on it. If you have your own bets on who's going to survive, of course, no spoilers, please. I don't know. I think this is based off a manga or something. If you've read it, no spoilers, please, of course. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe for more of this, much more on the channel. Shoujo Shumatsu Ryoko, Children of the Whales, Hoseki no Kuni, or Mohotsukai no Yome. I'm reviewing all those week to week. Follow on Twitter if you want. I can try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel. If you want a link to our Discord server, we can always discuss stuff there. So just ask and I'll give you one. That's it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.